This is called moshla kosha. Sauteing your, not sauteing, it's kind of tightening the flavors, the masalas. So as you can see, there's oil bubbling away. But if you feel that it's sticking too much to the bottom, you just take a little bit of water in your hand and it's still not sticking. And if I smell it, I'm getting a very, very raw smell still. It just takes a little time, but this makes all the difference. You're watching us do the moshla kosha in real time, so let's see how long it takes. Because people get very fed up with it and they just stop doing it, which is okay for other, there are other recipes which are lighter recipes, for which it's fine. But for anything, the spice must stay cooked. Unless you're putting the spicing raw along with the rest of the vegetables. That's a different style of cooking. See, the color is changing. Add the salt and the sugar now. I know you don't, but I want you to add. Along the way, add your salt also into it. We have not added any salt to anything yet. So Tita will add some salt because salt will let you smell the spices. When we add salt to the masala, it starts to actually, you can hear it sizzling. Tita hasn't put all the salt because she prefers to add the salt later, but for now, and add a little sugar also. Sugar will give you color. Sugar is not added for taste. It is added to balance taste. So normally, yeah, like that. Just a little bit of sugar. That's all that you need. You can add about half a teaspoon if you want a slightly sweeter taste. That's up to you. But what sugar will do every time is add color. If you put it in the frying of the masala. Caramelizing. Basically, that's what it is. It's sticking to the bottom of the pan. See? Every time I'm letting it go, it's sticking. And this, a lot depends on how quickly, how much it's sticking. There comes a point when you think, no, I can't do this anymore. And that's the right point to just sort of let it go and add the water. Or add the next thing. So in this case, do you think it's done? In this case, we will add tomato at this point. Do you think the smell is okay? The smell is coming. So Tita doesn't need to taste it, nothing. She knows the smell is there. So if you put the salt, what happens is also the tomato starts to soften faster. The water comes out. Salt does that for you. Whenever you're cooking, if you make a meat curry, let's say, when you add the salt, you will find that the water will start to come out. Tita had taken out a lot of the oil. Now she's just adding back a bit because she wants to make the masala nicely. You could have made the same thing with less oil. It's okay. You don't. In which case, you don't fry the tomato too much. That's all. No, that's okay. So the thing is that let it all soften and nicely come together. You want to cover it? No. Will it soften? So basically, while you see, if you want a lighter taste, you can just at this point add your aloo and potoler or whatever vegetable you're cooking. But if you want a slightly more, aromatic, flavorful taste, then you let the tomato cook for a while till that rawness of the tomato goes. Yeah. So Tita had added the jeera powder, the cumin powder into her masala paste. You can also add it later. You can also add a little bit of hing, which is asafoetida, which I think it will be nice to add. If Tita will add a little bit, just like a couple of pinches, literally pinch, not teaspoons and all that. If it's a teaspoon, it's like less than half teaspoon. I'm going to just keep holding it here so that we get to see all the different stages. Put a little water with the hand. Shall I do that? It helps. If you add water, what happens? It melts, it helps you melt the flavors. You can do it by hand or you can just do it. Now I'll wait for Tita to decide what she wants to do. But essentially, this is the method. How much to fry the tomato is up to you. But if you want to make it lighter, you just use less spices. That also works. But you know, if it's a dalna, you want a nice rich taste. Ideally, dalna also has ghee and garam moshla at the end. But since we are going to eat it with meat, so it's a far thing we'll be doing. So therefore, we won't add the ghee. We'll just add a bit of garam masala powder, which is freshly made, at the end. That's it. And of course, green chili. Break up the tomatoes. Huh? Why do you want the full pieces?
Just put water and then.
This is a decision that every cook will take. Do I want to break up the tomato? Do I not want to break up the tomato? But the main thing is, it must cook. It mustn't be raw. It can be raw in other dishes, but in a dalna, it mustn't be raw tomatoes floating around because it lightens the taste, and that's not what you want. You want dalna is a kind of thing that you have towards, as you eat, you start with lighter dishes like dal and jhol and bhaja, which is fry and things. And as you progress into your meal, you have the more heavier vegetable dishes. So dalna is one of those heavier ones. So is a dum aloo. You must have heard that. The dum is also slightly heavier. It's not. And Tita will add water at this stage. She could have also added the aloo and this thing, but she would prefer to just add. Yeah. She will cook the tomato in this water, and then she will add the potato and. So again, these are decisions we take, right, as cooks. My recipe, as you will see, is slightly different, but it will not make a humongous difference either way. Okay? Main thing is you fried your vegetables, you fried your masala, you fried your tomato nicely, and you're now going to let it cook. So this, you will increase the heat and let it boil. So you will cover, and it will boil and it will cook. I will come back in a short while.